All right, get ready, because today we are really going deep on a mystery that I gotta say has really captivated people for centuries. The
Yes.
Count of Saint
Oh,
Germain.
yeah.
And I'm excited about this one. And let me tell you, this guy, Saint Germain, makes Indiana Jones look like an amateur.
Yeah, I think one of the things that really pulls you in about the Count of Saint Germain is that even after all this time, his origins are shrouded in so much mystery.
It really is.
It's like he appeared on the European stage fully formed already.
Right.
Oozing charm and just like overflowing with knowledge.
It's like trying to find patient zero in a historical game of telephone.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, where did he even come from?
Right.
One of the theories suggests that he was the illegitimate son of royalty, Mariana of Neuburg, the Queen Dowager of Spain.
Wow.
No less.
That's a big deal.
Yes,
That's
that's true.
You have to remember back in those times,
Mm.
in European society, just even the whisper of royal blood could open doors for you like you wouldn't
Right.
believe.
Oh, yeah.
It would grant you access to knowledge or
Absolutely.
circles
Yeah.
that a commoner wouldn't even dream of.
Yeah.
So that might explain some of his connections and knowledge and influence.
And he definitely had access.
He did.
I mean, in spades. This wasn't just some well-connected, no. We're talking true Renaissance man centuries after the Renaissance was over.
Right.
Musician,
Yeah.
painter,
Uh-huh.
fluent in more languages than a UN interpreter. I mean, Chinese, Persian,
It's crazy.
Bengali, you name it. He spoke it.
Absolutely.
He even dabbled in chemistry and alchemy.
Now, that's what I find so fascinating,
Yeah.
is that being a polymath, like someone who excels in so many different fields, was rare even in times that were known for intellectual exploration.
Yeah.
But for his time,
Yeah.
it was almost unheard of, especially among the nobility.
Yeah, they didn't do that.
They didn't like that.
Right.
They thought that was beneath them. So it really makes you wonder, was this all part of a carefully cultivated image?
Was he like an early influencer?
Yeah, like, was this a calculated performance
Yeah.
to create this persona, or was he genuinely driven by this thirst for knowledge?
Well, whatever it was.
Yeah,
He definitely used his talents to dazzle the elite across Europe.
he did. He was like
This guy was a social butterfly extraordinaire.
a social butterfly extraordinaire. I love that.
Right.
Yeah, he charmed his way into like the most exclusive gatherings, from like Parisian salons to royal courts.
And let's not forget the fashion statement.
Oh yeah, we can't forget about the fashion.
I mean, the diamonds.
Right.
While everybody else was peacocking around in these really colorful, flamboyant fashions of the time,
Yeah.
this guy chose simple, elegant black, but not just any black. We're talking black accented with a king's ransom in diamonds.
Could you imagine like
Yeah.
the effect?
I
mean,
you walk into a room and there's a guy dressed in all black with diamonds.
head to toe,
Yeah.
dripping with diamonds.
Oh my God.
Well, Casanova,
Yes.
the infamous lover and memoirist,
Mhm.
who was a little bit
A little.
envious of Saint Germain, shall we say,
Sure.
put it best when he said that Saint Germain could hold an entire room spellbound
Oh.
for hours with his wit and his conversation.
That's really saying something coming from Casanova.
That is saying something.
But it wasn't all witty banter and sparkling jewels. Some of the tales that Saint Germain spun really started to fuel the mystery around him. Like the time that Countess von Georgi ran into him at a party and swore that she had met him 50 years earlier at a similar gathering. And get this, he looked exactly the same.
Like time had stood still. for him.
Yes,
That
exactly.
would go wrong.
I mean, whether that encounter is completely true or was embellished over time, it really became a cornerstone of the Saint Germain legend.
It did.
And it really solidified this image of him as ageless, possibly even immortal.
Yeah.
It's like the 18th century equivalent of a viral tweet.
I love that.
Right.
The 18th century viral tweet.
And the thing is, he didn't exactly shy away from all the speculation.
He didn't.
He claimed to have met Jesus and the Holy Family,
Wow.
witnessed the Council of Nicaea.
Wow.
Heck, he even said he knew the sequel to Immortality.
Okay. Now, some of these claims we know are factually inaccurate.
Right.
The council predates the formal canonization process that he described.
Right.
But here's the thing. Those inconsistencies
Yeah.
don't seem to diminish his allure.
No.
If anything, they might even add to it.
So was he just a really good storyteller?
Right now.
A master bullshitter?
Right.
Or was there something more to it?
That's the question, isn't it?
That is the question, and we are going to unpack all of that and more right after this.
I can't wait. I mean, you have to remember, during his time, the lines between like science and mysticism and entertainment were all really blurry. I mean, sure, it's the Enlightenment, but people were still really captivated by like secret societies.
Oh, absolutely.
Hidden knowledge.
Yeah.
The possibility of immortality.
Yeah.
And Saint Germain kind of embodied all of those.
So he was like a real-life superhero, but with better clothes.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of the clothes, even that played a role. You know?
Oh, yeah.
He was very aware of his image.
Yeah.
Always in black.
Uh-huh.
Shimmering with diamonds.
Right.
He was such a contrast.
Such a contrast.
To everybody else.
Yeah.
Who was so over the top with their fashion at the time.
Yeah.
It was like he was saying, I am not just another face in this crowd.
Right.
I am different.
Yeah, he knew how to make an entrance.
He did.
But it wasn't all smoke and mirrors.
No.
This guy was undeniably intelligent.
Yeah.
I mean, he secured that loan for Louis the Adolphe during the 7 Years' War, which was a huge conflict that really reshaped Europe.
It did.
And then he served as an advisor in the Russian court.
Right.
I mean, those aren't things that just anyone can pull off.
Now, those accomplishments suggest a sharp mind.
Yes.
Like a real understanding of politics.
Yes.
And just an incredible ability to persuade.
Yeah, he was navigating these treacherous waters of the European courts.
He was.
And somehow managing to stay afloat, even thrive.
Yeah, and then every time things got a little too hot, he vanished.
Poof.
Gone.
It's like he knew when to fold them and walk away.
I know, it's like he was like James Bond or something.
He was.
Always one step ahead.
Yeah, and speaking of longevity...
Yeah.
This is where the story takes a really wild turn.
Okay.
So officially, Saint Germain died in 1784 in Eckernförde, Germany.
Okay.
And his patron at the time, Prince Karl of Hesse-Kassel, even confirmed it.
So case closed, right?
Right.
Well, not so fast.
Not quite.
I mean, the death records exist, sure.
Yeah.
But the question remains, did he really die? Even his death is wrapped in all this mystery.
It is.
Some people think that he faked his own death to escape creditors or political enemies.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Which, you can imagine a man with as many secrets as Saint Germain.
He had to have a few enemies.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right.
Right.
And then there are the countless reported sightings of him after his supposed death.
Right.
People claimed to see him at these secret society meetings.
Yeah.
Whispering advice to world leaders.
Giving prophecies.
Sharing prophecies.
Yeah.
It's almost as if he couldn't resist popping back into the historical narrative every now and then.
Just to keep people guessing.
To keep the legend alive.
Yeah.
Right?
And this is really where history and folklore collide.
They do.
You know, did these post-death encounters actually happen?
Right.
Or are they just like elaborate additions to an already fantastical tale?
Yeah. Are they just embellishing the story a little bit more?
Right, exactly. It's almost impossible to say for sure.
Yeah.
But what we can say
is
that this guy was a master of self-promotion.
Yeah.
He knew how to create an image that just transcended time.
He really did. Let's get down to like brass tacks here. What did this guy actually look like? I mean, we've talked about his clothes, his charm, his immortality.
Right.
But I still don't have a clear picture in my head.
Sure.
I mean, did he resemble like a dashing gentleman or a wizened old sage?
Well, that's a good question. And it brings us to another layer of this whole Saint Germain enigma.
Okay.
The descriptions that we have of his appearance are surprisingly consistent.
Yeah. Alsa mentions that most people described him as looking to be around 45 years old.
Right.
No younger, not older. It didn't matter when they encountered him.
Yeah, it's like he was perpetually middle-aged.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
And that unchanging appearance really adds to this whole mystery.
It does.
And you couple that with his already striking attire and captivating presence, you have a visual that's almost impossible to forget.
It really is.
And then there's this description from Eliphas Levi. He was a 19th century occultist who believed that Saint Germain was like a high-ranking member of the Rosicrucians.
Oh, wow.
Which is a legendary secret society. And he described Saint Germain as being fluent in multiple languages, a skilled musician and painter, and possessing an almost superhuman level of knowledge.
Okay, so whether or not you buy into the whole secret society thing, it definitely adds to the mystery.
It does.
But I think we should probably take that account with a grain of salt.
Right, of course.
It's hard to know where history ends and where the embellishment begins.
Right. But even if we strip away some of those outlandish details, we're still left with this really intriguing figure who just seemed to defy the limitations of normal human existence.
He did, and there's this one other little sensory detail that Alzad mentions that I thought was kind of telling.
Oh, what's that?
He was said to have this uniquely alluring aroma.
What?
Like a really pleasant scent that kind of added to his whole mystique.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
He had a signature scent.
Apparently.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially in a time when people rarely bathed and relied on heavy perfumes to mask all the odors.
Yeah, exactly. A naturally pleasant scent would have been extremely noticeable.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It really just shows you the power of these sensory details in shaping our perception of people.
Yeah.
It's like he understood how to create this whole experience, engage every sense to make himself totally unforgettable.
Wow. So, to sum it all up, was the Count of Saint Germain a master illusionist?
Yeah.
A time traveler? A genuine immortal? Or was he something else entirely?
Okay. I mean, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
The evidence we have is this blend of, like, historical accounts and anecdotes and a healthy dose of myth-making.
It is.
So it's possible he was all of those things.
Yeah.
Or maybe none of them.
Or none of them.
You know?
Right.
Maybe the most accurate assessment is that he was just this chameleon who adapted to whatever the situation was and played the role that best served him at that moment.
So like a master of reinvention.
Exactly. Always one step ahead of everyone else.
Always one step ahead.
And that adaptability.
Yeah.
I mean, that ability to navigate the world of 18th century Europe, that's probably the greatest testament to his intelligence and skill.
It really is.
I mean, this guy was a survivor, a strategist, a master of self-promotion.
It's such a shame that all of those documents that Napoleon III collected about him were destroyed in a fire at the Hôtel de Ville in Paris.
That was a huge loss.
It was.
For anyone trying to get to the bottom of this.
Who knows what secrets those files held?
Who knows, but maybe it's kind of fitting. In a way.
It is.
That even in death, or his supposed death, he remains an enigma.
He does.
I mean, he was a master of illusion.
Yeah.
So why not be a master of eluding our understanding?
Even after he's gone.
Even after he's gone, right?
That's like he orchestrated this whole thing.
Yeah.
Ensuring that his story would continue to be told and debated for centuries.
Exactly. And so it has, I mean, the Count of Saint Germain.
Yes.
He remains this captivating figure. A reminder that history is rarely black and white.
Yeah.
It's a blend of fact and fiction and truth and legend.
It really is.
And I think his story just really encourages us to question what we believe.
Yeah.
To embrace the unknown.
Yeah.
And accept that some mysteries
they may never be fully solved. It's funny, as we've been going through all of this, I was just thinking about how Saint Germain was almost like a prototype for the modern influencer.
Oh, totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he really knew how to craft a personal brand.
He did.
He understood image and mystery and really keeping people guessing.
Yeah.
You know, he cultivated this whole aura of intrigue, dropping just enough hints about his past and his knowledge to make you curious, but never really revealing too much.
It's brilliant.
Right.
And people were drawn to that.
They were.
You know, not just because of his accomplishments or his charm, but because he offered them a glimpse into something beyond the ordinary.
It was like a secret world.
Yeah, like there's this hidden knowledge out there.
Yeah.
And he's got access to it.
And we want in.
Yeah, exactly.
He was like a walking, talking conspiracy theory.
He was.
And just like the best ones. He leaves behind more questions than answers.
Yeah, and I think that's really the key to his whole enduring legacy.
I think so too.
I mean, Saint Germain wasn't just a man, he was an idea.
He was a symbol.
A symbol of the unknown.
Yeah.
The possibility that there's more to reality than what we see.
He was like the ultimate escape artist.
He was.
You know, not just from like creditors or political rivals, but from time and mortality itself.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And maybe that's the biggest lesson that we can learn from the Count of Saint Germain.
What's that?
He reminds us to never stop questioning.
Yeah.
Never stop exploring.
Absolutely.
And always be open to the possibility that there's something else out there.
Totally.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's turn it back over to you. What do you believe?
Yeah.
Was Saint Germain just a really brilliant con man?
Right.
A time traveler, an immortal alchemist? Or something else entirely?
Whatever you decide.
Yeah.
I think we hope that this deep dive has really sparked your imagination.
Yeah.
Inspired you to kind of keep digging deeper into all these mysteries.
Keep asking questions.
Yeah, because the world is full of them.
It is.
And they're just waiting to be uncovered.
And maybe you'll be the one to uncover the truth behind the next great historical mystery.
That would be awesome.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning.
Absolutely.
And keep the spirit of the deep dive alive.
I love it.